Hello, dear students. I'm Pooja Goplani, and I will be taking your session on NTSE Math. Before we begin, let me just give you a quick introduction about myself. I'm Pooja Goplani. I've done B from in civil engineering from Bhila Institute of Technology, and after doing my B, I've done MTech from IIT Roorkee in hydraulics. After doing my MTech, I've done job in corporate sector for a few years, and for the last 7-8 years, I've been taking math classes for students of 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Okay, and this is like a quick introduction about myself. And in Vedantu, I take NTSE math syllabus. I've been teaching that, and since you are attending this webinar, it's like you are preparing for NTSE exam. If you guys are preparing for any of the competitive exams, I think there are two important aspects for preparation of any exam. First is the approach, how you are approaching a particular problem, like the method you use to solve a particular problem. Here in Vedantu, what we do is we just work on your approach for a particular sum. Like we cover the various type of sums in your mental ability test, and we tell you what's the right approach for solving the different types of sums could be. And the second important aspect for preparing in any of the competitive exam is your time management. In any of the competitive exams, you are generally given a set of 50 questions, say, and you need to solve those 50 questions or 60 questions in a matter of just 1 hour. So time management is very important. So speed and accuracy, these are the two very important things in which every student has to work, whoever is preparing for any sort of competitive exams. And since you guys are preparing for NTSE exam, you need to work on these two things. And we are going to help you out with these two aspects of your competitive exam, right? So your NTSE math syllabus covers number of topics like the series or direction sense test, odd one out, seating arrangement, like the number of topics are there which are to be covered in mental ability test syllabus. But what we today, since we have the time limitation of 1 hour, we cannot touch upon all the topics. Today what we are going to do is we are going to look at the series topics of your math exam. Series topics, in the sense, series could be divided into 3 series, namely the number series, which involves your numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, those numbers are involved. Letter series, which involve alphabets in them. And the repeated series, you can say, where the alphabets or the numbers are being repeated, or you have a combination of both. There could be number of ways in which a series is given. Okay, so let's just begin with the series first. So today what we are going to cover is a part of series. Because of the time limitation, we cannot touch upon all the topics. So I've chosen the topic series because number of students finds this topic little difficult. Okay, so before we begin on solving problems related to series, let's just see what are the different types of problems which we have in a series thing. First of all, we can have consecutive odd and the even numbers. Okay, the consecutive odd and even numbers, that means we can have a series of even numbers like 12, 14, 16, or an odd numbers, or the consecutive prime numbers we can have. We can have the consecutive prime numbers, squares or the cubes of some numbers with or without addition or subtraction with some numbers. So it's not necessary that we'll be having a simple series where the squares are given or where the cubes are given, like 2, 4, say 2, 4, and then 9, like this. The simple squares are given, not like that. We might be having some complicated series also where the squares and the cubes of some numbers are given along with addition and subtraction with some number. Like, don't worry, we are going to solve all types of sums here. Or we can have some product difference of the preceding numbers. Or we can have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division by some number in a series, by a particular number. Or there could be two alternating series clubbed together. Or there are like a number of different possible combinations out there. So we cannot touch upon all the possible combinations given, but we are trying here. What I'm going to try is try to cover whatever possible combinations are there today. Let's just begin with the first series then. Here's the first series. Let's just see. The series is 31, 29, 24, 22, 17 like this. So as we can see, the numbers are reducing here. So first we are starting with an easy example here. So the numbers are reducing. So let's just see what's the difference between the consecutive. The first thing generally we do in solving a series problem is we first look at the difference between the terms given. If the difference doesn't work out, then we have to try out the other ways of solving the particular series. But in this series, let's just see what are the difference between the consecutive terms of the series. Like the first term 31 minus 29. That is what the difference is 2. And then we have 29 and 24. So what's the difference between 29 and 24? That is 5. Then we have the number 24 and 22. So 24 minus 22, the difference would be 2. Again, we have number 22 and 17. So what's the difference between 22 and 17? That is 5. Okay. So as we can see, the difference is 2, then 5, then again 2, again 5. So it's the series where the difference is alternating between 2 and 5. So the difference between these two is minus 2. These two terms is minus 5. Between these two terms, it is again minus 2. Here we had minus 5. So what will be the difference between 17 and the next term? Difference would be of 2. So 17 minus 2. So answer will be 15. Okay. So the answer to this question is 15. So it's an alternating difference between 2 and 5. So first difference of 2, then 5, then 2, then 5. A pretty simple sum. Okay. Clear? I think it's clear to all of you. Let's just move on to the next one. Here. The series is 1000, 200, then 400. Then we have to find the next number. And as we can look at the numbers here, there's a sharp decline in the numbers, decrease in the numbers. First number is 1000, then the next number is 200. So, and then the next number is 40. So here, what we can see is there's a division involved in this series. Since there's a sharp decline in the numbers, there's a division involved in this series, right? So from 1000, how do we get 200? 1000 divided by what will give you 200? I think 1000 divided by 5 will give us 200. 1000 by 5 will give us 200. Same way, 200 divided by 5 will give us 40. So how do we get the next number? 40 divided by 5. So that would be 8. So the next number would be 8. So what is happening in this series? There's a division involved in this series. Okay. So there's a division involved in this series. Cool. So one thing which we can learn from this thing is if there's a sharp decline in the numbers, reduction in the numbers, so rather than plus or minus, there would be some kind of a division involved in the series. All right. I think this is clear to all of you. Let's move on to the next example now. Okay. This series here 14, 28, 20, 40, 32, 64, 56 and 12. Okay, if we look at the difference between the terms. So difference, let's just look at the difference between these two terms 28 and 14. What's the difference here? Difference is 14. Okay. 28 minus 14, the difference is 14 here. Here, the difference is 8, 28 and 20. There's a reduction here. So, minus 8 here. Okay, here we had plus 14. The number increased by 14. Oh, the number decreased by 18. Here, 20 and 40. The number is increasing by 20, and here the number 40 and 32 means it's decreasing by 8. So again 32 and 64. What's the difference? That is 32. So the number is increasing by 32. And here the number is decreasing again by 64 and 56. The number is decreasing by 8. So here again it is like 56 and then it is increasing by 56. 112 minus 56 is what? 56. So 56 plus 56 gives us 112. So if we look at the pattern here, so first approach of solving, there can be like two approaches of solving this sum. One is what we can make out by calculating the difference between the consecutive terms here is the first two numbers are being doubled. First number is 14, next number is 28. So when we double 14, what we get is 28. Okay, so 14 multiplied by 2, or we can say 14 plus 14, that gives us 28. So this is how we get the second number from the first number. Then how do we get the third number from the second number? Then 28, we subtract 8 from this, and what we get is 20. Then again the 20 is being doubled and we get the next number as 40. Clear? So what we are doing in this series is first number we double it to get the next number. Then we subtract 8 to get the third number. Then again the third number is being doubled to get the fourth number. And how do we get the fifth number now? By subtracting 8 from the fourth number. It's like the alternating between doubling. First what we are doing is we are multiplying it by 2, then we are subtracting by 8. We are multiplying by 2, then we are subtracting by 8. Like this. Alright, so what's happening in this series? First multiplication by 2, then subtraction by 8. Multiplication by 2, then subtraction by 8. So this thing is again 32. So this is how we get our fifth term. So again 32 will be multiplied by 2. So that is how we'll get 64. Then again 64 minus 8. That will give us 56. So 56 again will be doubled. So what we are going to get is 112. So how do we get the next number after 112? By subtracting it with 8. Because we are alternating between first multiplication by 2, then subtraction by 8. Multiplication by 2, subtraction by 8. Okay? Okay. One minute. Okay, I think there was some problem with the webcam here. Okay. Then 112 we subtract it with 8 to get the next number, that is 112 subtracted by 8. What we are going to get is 104. So the next number in this series would be 104. Alright, so this is just first way, or the first. I'm going to tell you one more way of solving the same series. First method is it clear? I hope it's clear to all of you that if we check the difference between the consecutive terms, first is like the difference. How do we get the first to second number from the first number? By multiplying it with 2. Then we are subtracting 8. Then again multiplying by 2. Then again subtracting by 8. This is what is happening in this series. This is like first approach to solve this series. The same series, we can solve it in one more way. Let's just go to a new page and let me just tell you how to solve this same series again. The first term was 14, then 28, then we got 20, then 40, then 32, then 64. Then the number was, what was the series after that? 56, 112. Okay. So this was the series we had. Now, if we just look at this series, this is like a combination of two series taken together. If we look at this number 14, what's the difference between 14 and 20 here? The difference is of 6. If we add 6 to 14, what do we get? We get 20. And then 20, from 20, let's jump to the next alternate number, that is 32. What's the difference here? The difference is of 12. 32 minus 20 is 12. And again, let's jump from this to this number. So what is the difference between 56 and 32? That is 24. Okay. So the next number, next difference would be from here to here, the difference would be of 48. What is happening? The difference is like the doubling. So 6, then double of 6, we had 12 here, and double of 12, that is we have 24 here, and then double of 24 would be 48. So 56 plus 48, that will give us 104. So this is how we'll get the next number of the series. As we can see, the difference between these two. Difference between these two is here we have plus 12 we have here. Same way difference between these two is 24. If from 12 the difference has increased to 24. The difference has doubled now. Same way the difference from 64 to 112 would be 48. So it's the same. It's like we have the two series clubbed together. So we are taking the alternate terms of the series where the difference is 6, 12, 24. So the difference is increasing by doubling the number. All right. So this is how we get the next number, that is 104. Any method can be used. Either we can use this approach by doubling the number first and then subtracting 8 from it, or we can consider it as an alternating or a combination of two series taken together. Any of the two ways can be used to solve this thing, whichever you feel easy. Let's move on to the next sum of number series now. Okay, here's the next sum of number series. What do we see here? 1, 2, 6, 15, 31. Let's just find out again. Let's just start with finding the difference between the consecutive numbers in the series. So what is 2 minus 1? That's 1. What is 6 minus 2? That is 4. What is 15 minus 6? That's 9. And what is 31 minus 15? That is 16. All right. So as we just look at the difference between the consecutive term given in this series, what we can make out? 1, 4, 9, 16. I think these numbers will ring a bell in your mind that these numbers denote 1 is nothing but 1 square. 4 is nothing but 2 square. 9 is nothing but 3 square. Similarly, 16 is 4 square. So now the difference. So this is how the difference goes. 1 square, and then we have 2 square. Then we have 3 square. Here we have 4 square. So the difference between this number and the next number would be 5 square. 5 square means 5 into 5, 25. So 31. So the next number will be 31 plus 25. So the next number or the answer to this question would be 56. All right, so this is how we are going to solve this problem. Like, we calculated the difference and we just see if we can make out some relation or between the differences given here. So it's 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. And it's always advisable that you all should know squares and cubes of numbers at least till 20. It's always advisable whenever you are appearing for any competitive exams or so, because these squares and cubes, if you remember these numbers, they come in handy actually in solving these sums. Okay, let's just have a look at the next problem. Okay, 11, 23, 48, 99, 409. Okay, let's just first calculate. Same method, let's just first calculate what is the difference between the consecutive terms of the series here. So what is it? 23 minus 11. So what is the difference here? That's 23 minus 11 is 12. Now let's find out 48 minus 23. So what's the difference between 48 minus 23? That's 25. Now 99 minus 48. 99 minus 48 is equal to 51, right? Okay. So, and this number given here between the two blanks, the number given here 409, that we can keep it for checking purpose. Actually, whether the logic we are using is correct or not, we'll keep it as a checking number or the checkpoint. Okay. Now, let's look at this number here. Number is what? 12. And the preceding number was, let's look at the difference and the preceding number here. Here the difference between these two is 12. The difference between these two is 25. Difference between these two is 51. Okay, so what we can make out from looking at these differences is 12 is nothing but 11 plus 1. So here we had this number 11. 11 plus 1, that is 12 we got. Okay. So here we have 25. 25 is nothing. We can write 25 as 23 plus 2. Here the preceding number is what? 23. So 23 plus 2. That's what the difference is. And 51 is what? 48 plus 3. So what we can make out from this thing is writing it like this. What can we make out by writing it like this? Basically, if we look here, this is the difference between these two is 11 plus 1, that is 12. Here the difference between these two is we got 23, so it's like 23 plus 2. Here it is, this number is 48, so the difference here is 48 plus 3. So what would be the next difference now? What would be the next difference here? So it is 99 here. So 99 added to 99 plus 4. This will be the difference between these two terms now. So what will be the next term now? It will be 99 plus 99 plus 4. 99 plus 4, 103. So that is 99 plus 103. So the value would be 202. So answer to this one is 202. I hope this is clear to all of you. Like what is happening is we are taking the preceding number and increasing, adding this preceding number with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So the next addition would be the difference between this and this. Let's see, this 409, we have kept it as a checkpoint. Let's see if our logic is correct or not. Here the number is what? 202. So the difference between these two consecutive terms would be 202 plus 5. 202 plus 5 is what? 207. So what is 207 plus 207 plus 202? That is nothing but 409. So our logic is correct. Again, so here we have 409. So how do we get the next number now? So the difference between 409 and the next number would be 409 plus, what will we have? We'll have 6 here. Okay. So what's the difference here? 415. So what do we get? 409 plus 415. Here this thing is 415. So how do we get the next number? Next number would be 824. All right. So this is how we get solve this series. So let's, for the recap, let me just quickly brief you all. Like first step, what we did is in the given series, first in the same way, whatever we have done in the previous sums, we have taken the difference between the consecutive terms of the series, like 23 minus 11, 48 minus 23, 99 minus 42, We have taken the difference. Differences we got 12, 25 and 51. If we just look at these differences, what we can make out, 12 can be written as 11 plus 1, 25 can be written as 23 plus 2, same way 51 can be written as 48 plus 3. Okay, so this is how we can write the differences between the two numbers, two consecutive numbers. One is like the preceding number plus 1. That is what the difference is. For next, the preceding number plus 2. For the next, the difference is preceding number plus 3. So difference is plus 3, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4 and plus 5. Okay, so this is how we get. Or if I write the general term for this series, that would be Tn is nothing but Tn minus 1. Nth term would be what? And what is n minus 1th term? Plus Tn minus 1 plus, here it's n. Okay, or we can write it as n minus 1 here. Okay, so this is how we are going to get our nth term of the series. So let's look at the next sum now. Okay, next sum is 0, 6, 24, 60, 210 and this thing. Okay, if we look at the difference between the terms here, let's just see if it is of any use here. 6 minus 0, what does it give? It gives 6. So what do we have? 24 minus 6, that is 12. Okay, then what is 60 minus 20? Sorry, I have written this thing would be 18 here, 18 here, and then 36 here. Okay, so can we make out any set pattern between the differences we have calculated for the given terms here? So here, how do we get from 6? How do we get 18? By multiplying it by 3. And here, how do we get 36? By multiplying it by 2. And next would be, if we follow this pattern, next would be multiplied with 1. But there is, so then we'll get a smaller number here. But the numbers are like increasing sharply. There's a particular increase in the number. So whenever there is an increase in the number, we can have a look at the cubes or the squares of the numbers. Okay. So if we have a look at the cubes, so where 1 cube is what? 1. If I write it as 1 cube here, that would be 1. What is 2 cube? That is 2 into 2 into 2, that is 4 into 2, that is 8. Again, what is 3 cube? The numbers here looks closer to the cube actually. So 3 into 3, 9, 9 into 3, that is 27. And what is it? Then next number, 4 cube would be 4 into 4, 16, 16 into 4, we'll have 64. Okay, so how do we get 0 from this 1 cube? When we subtract 1 from 1, what we'll get is 0. And how do we get 6 from 8? By subtracting 2 from this thing. 8 minus 2 will give us 6. How do we get 24 from 27? By subtracting 3 from it. That will give us 24. How do we get 60 from 64? By subtracting 4 from it. Okay. So this is how we are getting our numbers. So first number is nothing but 1 cube minus 1. So how do we get the second number? That is 2 cube minus 2. How do we get the third number? 3 cube minus 3. And the fourth number? 4 cube minus 4. So what will be the fifth number? Fifth number would be 5 cube minus 5. Alright, so what is the value of 5 cube? 5 into 5, 25. 25 into 5, that is 125. So it could be 125 minus 5. So the number here would be 125. 20. 125 minus 5. So let's just check if our logic is correct using this checkpoint number. So this thing is what? 6 cube minus 6. It should be, what is the value of 6 cube? 6 into 6, 36. 36 into 6 is 216. So 216 minus 6 will give us 210. So what would be the number here? Number here would be 7 cube minus 7. And what is the value of 7 cube? 7 into 7, 49. 49 into 7, that is 343 minus 7. So this would be the answer to this question. Okay. So what is it? That is 3 here and 6, 336. So 336 is the next number. So this is one way of solving the sum, that since we can see that there's an increase in the number rapidly, so what we have to go for is we have to either go for the cubes or the squares. So even if we look at the squares, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, that won't help actually. So we have taken the cubes here. So 1 cube minus 1 will give us the first number. 2 cube minus 2 will give us the second number. Same with third number, 3 cube minus 3. This is one way of solving this sum. This sum can be solved in one more way. Let me just tell you how we can solve this thing. What we can write here is 0 is nothing but 0 into 1. Okay. This thing, factors of 6 is 2 into 3. This is the second method of solving the same sum. Actually, what we are doing here is, this is the second method of solving the same sum. If we look at this number 0 here, 0 is nothing but 0 multiplied by 1. This number here 6. 6 is nothing but 2 multiplied by 3. Or I can write it as 1 into 2 into 3. And if I find out the factors of these two numbers here, 24. What are the factors of 24? 24 is nothing but 2 into 3 into 4. 2 3s are 6, 6 4s are 24. Okay, I can write 60 as 3 into 4 into 5. 3 into 4, 12. 12 into 5 is 60. So how do we get? So it's just removing the first term and adding the next term here. So first number, how do we get? 0 into 1 into 2. Second number, the first number, how do we get? 0 into 1 into 2. Second number, how do we get? 1 into 2 into 3. That is like we are omitting the first number and adding a new consecutive number here. So third number would be 2 into 3 into 4. Fourth number, 3 into 4 into 5. Same way, the fifth number would be 4 into 5 into 6. So what's the fifth number? 4 into 5, 20. 20 into 6, that is 120. So using this approach also, we are getting answer here as 120. Or the sixth number would be, if you use this logic, it will be 5 into 6 into 7. 5 into 6, 30. 30 into 7, that will be 210. And the seventh number would be what? 6 into 7 into 8. So 6 sevens are 42. 42 into 8 will give you 336. So you use this approach or that approach of taking cube minus 1 cube minus 1, 2 cube minus 2, like that. Any method is correct. In your mental ability sums, your approach should be correct. There can be a number of ways of solving a given problem. Alright, I hope this is clear to all of you, and let's look at the next sum now. Okay, 7, 20, 47, 94, 167. Let's just calculate the differences here. So what is 20 minus 7? That is 13. What is 47 minus 20? 27. And what is 94 minus 47? That would be 47. Okay, and then 167 minus 94, that is 3 here, and then 7. Okay, and let's just see if we can make anything out of this thing. That doesn't seem to be of much help. Then what we can do is, again, there's increase in the numbers here. Then 7, 20, 47, 94, 167. Let's just see if we can find out the cubes here. So again, let's write the cube here. So what is 1 cube here? 1 cube is 1. What is the value? What we are writing here is 1 cube, that is 1. Let me just erase this thing. Since these differences are of no use in this question, we are trying it out using the cube method now. Let me just erase this thing. Okay. Here, let's write the cubes first. So first I have written 1 cube, that is 1. Here if I write 2 cube, that is 8. 2 into 2 into 2, that is 8. Then let me write 3 cube, that is 27. Okay, I'm writing it like this in the format of a table here. And then let me write 4 cube. 4 cube is nothing but 64. 4 into 4, 16. 16 into 4, 64. And then let me write 5 cube here. 5 cube is 125. So let's just see what's the difference between the cubes written here and the number is. So here we have the number is 7 and 1. 7 minus 1 would be 6. The difference is 6. Here we have 20 and 8. So 20 and 8, the difference is 12. And again, 47 and 27. What's the difference here? That is 20. And what is the difference between 94 and 64? 94 minus 64, difference is 30. Okay. And 167 and 125, difference is 42. So what can we make out by looking at the differences between the numbers given and the corresponding cubes here? So 6, 12, 20, 30 and 42. 6 we can write it as 2 multiplied by 3. 12 can be written as 3 multiplied by 4. 20 is nothing but 4 multiplied by 5. 30 is nothing but 5 multiplied by 6. 42 is nothing but 6 multiplied by 7. Right? So this is how we have. If now we look at the pattern, the difference between the cubes and the given number is like 2 into 3, 3 into 4, 4 into 5. So here 6 plus 1 will give us have is 6 cube. 6 cube is nothing but 216. And what would be the difference between the number here and 216 would be, the pattern is 2 into 3, then 3 into 4, 4 into 5, then 5 into 6, 6 into 7. So the number here would be 7 into 8, that is 56. So the number here would be 216 plus 56, that is 272. This is a kind of complicated or tricky series, we can say, but this all comes with, all of these, solving these will come with practice. And if you know, if you develop your brain in a particular direction, like how to think about it, how to go about solving a sum, if, as we can make out looking at the numbers here, 7, 20, 47, 94, the numbers are increasing rapidly. So we'll have to make use of either cubes or square. So what I've done here is I've written 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cube, 5 cube, and then it'll be 6 cube. So then after writing cubes, what I'm doing is I'm taking the difference between the corresponding cubes written here and the number. And the difference between these two is following a set pattern. That is 2 into 3, then 3 into 4, 4 into 5, like this. Okay, these are the kind of the hard problems. This can be categorized in the set of hard problems actually. So this will come only with these kind of problems we'll start solving only with practice. Right? We'll be covering more such problems in this session, and after the number series, so we have numbers. See, letters like this we have V, T, R, P, and N. Okay, we have letters like this V, T, R, P, N. Means they are moving in the reverse order. So let's start reading the alphabets in the reverse order also now. So N, P, R, T, V. So N, after N, what letter comes after N? O. So what they have done is they have skipped O. N, O, P. Then skip one more letter, that is Q. P, Q, R. And then we'll see what they are doing. They are skipping one letter and writing the next letter, or they are going in the reverse direction. So here what would be the letter? So N, M, and we'll skip M and we'll write L here. So the series becomes like this: L, then skip M, N. O skipped, write P. Q skipped, write R. S skipped, write T. U skipped, write V. So the answer to this one would be alphabet L. This is a very simple problem here. And let's move on to, let's have a look at the first alphabet of each of the terms given. Okay, here we have C. The next one is G. After G we have K. After K we have O. So how do we get there? How many alphabets are being skipped from C to G? C, then we are skipping D, E, and F. So this is like +4. Basically, we are writing the fourth alphabet, that is G. That is C, D, E, F, and then we are writing G. So again, after G, we'll do +4 here. So what will we get as the first alphabet here? O, then P, Q, R, and then we'll write S here. Okay, so the first alphabet for this one will be S. Let's look at the second alphabets now. I and then M. So I, J, K, L skipped, and then M is written. Again, +4. M and then N, O, P skipped, then we are writing Q. So again, +4. So again, +4, +4 for all the alphabets. S, Y, and what would be the last alphabet here? R. Let's take it like, let me use another color for this thing. So after R, what do we have? We have V. R, S, T, U. V. Again, it's like the +4 thing. U, V. Then W, X, Y, and then we are writing Z here. So again, +4. So then Z, A, B, C, D. Then again, E, F, G, and then we'll write H. So the answer to this one will be S, Y, and H. So then the second one, then the third one. So, and the crack this one. And this one. Now the repeated series. So there are some alphabets being repeated in pattern, in this pattern. So how do we generally go about solving this one is, first what we do is we count the number of terms in the given series. Well, how many terms are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So what do we have? We have 18 letters in the series given. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to write factors of 18. Factors of 18 are what other than 1 and 18. We are not writing 1 and 18. That would be 2, 3, 9. All right. And we'll write 6 like that. But we have this 3 as a factor of 9 here. And why have I circled 3? Because we have 3 alphabets, 3 types of letters here. So how many types of letters are given here? 3 types of letters. So what we can do here is we can divide the given series into 3 terms here. So what I'll do is, let me just write this series again, dividing it into 3 terms. So A dash and B, one group. Second would be B, C, and then dash. Then this is the second group. And then A, B is the third group. And then the next group would be dash, C, C, and this. And then dash, B, then B, C, C. So this is how I've divided it into 3. Why? Because there are like 3 types of letters here. 3 types of letters means we have A, we have B, and we have C. These are the 3 types of letters which we have here. So what I have done is I've written the entire series again and divided into groups of 3, 3, 3. So first is A dash B is one group, second is B, C, and dash the second group, like this, A, B, the next group, like this. We'll continue. Okay, so this is how we are going to divide the series. Okay, so we have divided the series like this. So now the series which is complete here, the group which is complete, let's get an idea from that group. So here what do we have? A, B. That means the 2 alphabets, repetition of 2 alphabets, then we are writing the 2 alphabets. Then it's like the repetition of 2 alphabets, and then again here this group is also complete. B, C, C means one group, and then the preceding 2 next repeated. So same thing we are going to do here. So A, then again A will be repeated. So A, B. Here B, then we'll write C. So here it is. Preceding C would be B here. And here A, B. So the answer to this one would be A. In the first alphabet, first dash we are getting A. Second dash we are getting C. Third dash we are getting, what are we getting in the third dash? That is B. And here again we are getting A. So the answer to this one would be A, C, B, A. But this you could have easily done without even writing it like this. But in certain type of problems where it's more complicated kind of a series, there it's better to use this factors of 18 like this. We counted the number of terms here as number of letters here as 18, then finding out the factors of 18 like this would be convenient for a more complicated kind of a series. But here we could have easily written it as A, B, B, C, C, A, B, B, C, C, then again A, B, B, C, C. This is what the series here is. So letter series are comparatively, I would say comparatively a little easier compared to the number series. Number series, there can be n types of series, like the number of type of series, and we are going to solve these kind of series in the sessions format, and I would be taking all the sessions format, and not just the series, we are covering all the topics which are there for your NTSE math exam, and it is going to be a fun interactive session, and I hope to see you all in that session. So this is all we have for now in this session of series, and we'll be solving much number of problems in the session. So this is all what we have for today. Thank you all so much. See you all in the sessions for NTSE math. Thank you so much.